Everybody, welcome back. If you've been following along, we are going on to lesson 2 in section 6, unit 1. This is going to be agent supervision and broker associate relationships. All right, so we're going to talk about contractor or employees now. A big part of the brokerage management is people management. Brokers and licensees must understand how workers are classified at both federal and state levels, as well as implications of an independent contractor as an employee and vice versa. All right, let's look at our resource so we can get an idea on how to answer this question. All right, independent contractors or employees is one of the important considerations of employment is whether you'll be operating as an employee of the broker or an independent contractor. Most real estate agents are independent contractors. If you're an employee, then you're paid weekly, salary, monthly, hourly, whatever. You could be a personal assistant. You could be doing things such as that. You could be doing marketing. You could be the photographer. This is the type of things that an employee does. And a lot of the brokerages have people that get paid to do these things at the brokerage. And they still may be a licensed realtor on the side. So they're kind of doing both. As an independent contractor, you'd be compensated based on the number and type of transactions you close. So you could actually do both if your brokerage allows it. Let's just say you're not making as much money as you would like and you'd like another, full-time job. Most of them are full-time. So, and then you could do your real estate on the weekends or something like that. So that's just an idea. Just throwing that out there. Differentiating a non-employee from an employee, because a broker has supervisory responsibility for all associated licensees. These licensees are generally considered employees for the purpose of licensing laws, no matter whether they're independent contractors or employees. The IRS makes a clear distinction, though. Brokers must withhold income and Social Security taxes from an employee. And with an independent contractor, they do not do that for you. You have to do that yourself. So that's the main difference between a non-employee and an employee. The broker must also pay unemployment compensation to employees and certain benefits to employees. As an independent contractor, you have to get your own health benefits or whatever kind of benefits you want for yourself. And you also have to pay errors and omission insurance, normally, in case there's a lawsuit. Keep in mind, if you work as an independent contractor, your brokerage will issue a 1099 at the end of the year to identify your commissions earned. And an employee will get a W-2. So this is also how you can tell if you're the difference. Now, if you're doing both things at a brokerage, you do an independent contracting real estate stuff on the weekends, and you work for them full time during the week, you might get two things. So, that's just a side note. All right, qualifying as an independent contractor, and if you want to, you're really working because you can deduct certain business expenses. So when you're an independent contractor, you can write off certain business expenses. You and your broker must make sure not to cross the line that would, in the eyes of the IRS, qualify you as an employee. For instance, while the broker must supervise you, the broker can't dictate your hours or your methods for conducting your business. Now, you have to follow the law. That means you can't just go out there and do whatever you want to do. You have to follow the law, and that's what you're learning now, is you're learning your law, and every brokerage has certain little things that they may want you to do, but all of these things have to abide by the law. And basically that's what you're trying to learn right now so that you can pass your tests. And that's why you have to do a national part and a state part, because every state has their own independent laws and regulations that are slightly different from other states. A lot of them contradict each other, and a lot of them are the same, but some of them are slightly different. Your broker can't require you to work in a certain location and can't pay for your expenses. You must hold a license, and you have to be operating under a written contract. In addition, 90% of your income must come from production and not hours worked. Hopefully they'll explain that a little more. I heard an accountant say that too, and he explained it, and I would have to go back and try and figure out what that means. So 90% of your income must come from production and not hours worked. And what I might do is just Google this right now so I can get it cleared up. All right. Productions. What is the question again? From production and not hours worked. Production. Okay, let's put this in here. Production versus hours worked. Production versus hours worked. Okay, so here we go. Productivity is a measurement of how much output an employee produces during a certain period. It's how many hours they work. That still doesn't make any sense. All right. First, longer hours lead to greater productivity. Well, what are they saying is productivity? Here, let's see if we can figure this out. All right, so here we go. Hours worked. You might work 8 hours, but you might only have an hour of productivity, whereas you're actually accomplishing something. Maybe that's what they're talking about. Okay. I think that's what they mean here. Anyway, hopefully they'll explain that maybe more as we go along. But that could be what it means. Productivity. 90% must come from productivity and not your hours work. Because I might be working 10 hours a day, but only have like 2 hours of productivity, meaning 2 hours out of that day I went to somebody's house and did a listing presentation, So that might be what it's talking about here. Okay, it is extremely important to properly classify all workers. Misclassification can result in civil penalties, and I'm assuming they're talking about the brokerage here. But if you have people working under you, this could apply to you too. If you start making so much money that you need to hire people, it's important that you classify them correctly. If they're going to work for you, then you're going to have to classify that correctly. If they're an employee, you need to do a W-2. You have to have taxes taken out. And you would definitely need to hire an accountant. And I'll try and list one on my website that is pretty good. And he specializes in real estate too, by the way. I have 2 different accountants, and one specializes in real estate, and the other one is just whatever else business. Okay, there are key differences between employees and independent contractors. Paid for time worked on salary. As an employee, paid for results, not time worked. Okay, so I guess that's what they mean here, productivity. You're paid for your results, not your time worked. Which is true, because if you don't have a sale, you're not going to make any money. Broker withholds income and Social Security taxes. Broker doesn't withhold Social Security taxes. Okay, so that's the difference here between independent contractors and employees. If anybody wants any of these resources, be sure and put, contact me on my webpage and then put you want this resource right here. Because if you're not specific, I'm not going to know which one you're talking about. But you could also do screenshots here too and just save yourself some time. All right. Let's look at these statements and see which one it is, independent or employee. I'll set your work hours for you and you'll be compensated for hours worked as an employee. You're compensated based on performance. Close a sale and you earn a commission. You'll set your own hours. You'll decide how you want to work, but I'll still provide instructions, training, and supervision to help you. I'll pay state and unemployment taxes. I'll withhold appropriate income taxes from your paycheck. That's an employee. All right. Speaking of compensation. Okay, that was lesson 2. So if you're following along, if you want to stay up in this series and this is what you need assistance with, if you don't need it, then you go on to whatever you need, okay? That's how this works here. So broker or salesperson compensation is next. I will see and hear you on the next video. Thank you.